Hi, my name is Ashish and this is the new video for the Amazon Web Services Solution Architect Associate Level exam that we are working on. In this video, we will see what is latency based routing, and this video will provide you the brief description and the lab for it. So what is latency based routing? Let's say if your application is hosted in multiple Amazon Web Services regions, you can improve performance for your user by serving their request from the AWS region that provides the lowest latency. To use latency-based routing, you create latency records for your resources in multiple AWS regions. When Route 53 receives a DNS query for your domain or subdomain, for like example.com or stopbeinglazy.in that we are using, it determines which AWS regions you have created latency records for, determines which region gives the user the lowest latency, and then selects a latency record for that region. Route 53 responds with the value from the selected record, such as the IP address for a web server. For example, suppose you have a ELB load balancers in the US West Oregon region and in the Asia Pacific Singapore region. You created a latency record for each load balancer. So let me just log on to the portal and show you what I mean. So let's say my user is this. He sends a request to the web server, and and it is hosted behind a load balancer. So my Route 53 would send the request on the basis of the latency that has been defined. Let's say it takes 10 milliseconds for my Oregon region to gather the request back to my user, and it takes 200 milliseconds from my Singapore region. So Route 53 would determine the lowest latency, the request back to the user from the lowest latency mechanism. So recently visited service shows that I was on Route 53. So I click on from here. You would also get the same on your side if you have the access to the console. Let me create a hosted zone here. I will quickly do this. Okay, public hosted zone, create it. I have this. I quickly create a record set here, leave it blank. 10.1.1.2, a fake IP address. I select the routing policy as latency. I select the region as US West 1, LA, Los Angeles. Click on create. I have this. Let's say I want to add a second IP address here. 3. Save record set. Now I create the record set again for this domain, but for 2 different IP addresses. So 10.1.1.4, 10.1.1.5. Let's say this is the load balancer, this is a different set, and this is a different server on which I'm hosting my application. I'm going to select again for latency, and the region would be use this 2. Set ID would be anything, example Oregon. Click on create. I have 2 different sets here. So now defining this on the basis of the lowest latency, the Route 53 would route the request back to the server on the basis of the lowest latency. So that is how you create the latency based routing under the Route 53. I hope this was informative for all of you guys. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I see you in the next video. Bye bye. Take care.